So welcome to day 2. Everybody get a good night's sleep? You're all rested, had a good breakfast, ready to go? So I spent some time looking at your comments from yesterday's survey and incorporated some of those things into today's presentation, and there'll be some more tomorrow and Thursday as well. Quick review here of what we're going to go over today. In the handbook, we'll look at sections 1 through 3, 4, and 5. We've got an activity, and then in the afternoon, we'll look at some more sections. And our first major practice test will be this afternoon, 55 questions. And after that, we will go through the results and go over how we come to those answers. So, first thing I want to do is review yesterday and talk about what we learned. So, go ahead and log on to the poll site and just put down one thing that sticks out in your mind that you learned yesterday. I'm sincerely hoping that there were more than one thing that you learned in the 8 hours that we spent together here, but usually one thing sticks out in your mind. Okay. Chapters and sections, we certainly talked a lot about that. Talked about the NFPA test. Sprinkler systems. We did a lengthy section on sprinkler systems. Keywords, that's a big part of this. That when you're looking at a book, an open book test, 3,600 pages, you have to understand the keywords so you know what you're looking for. A lot of people wrote keywords. We spent a lot of time on that yesterday, didn't we? Okay, so I think that's everybody. So, also had some questions yesterday that I promised to answer this morning. The first one, what's the time required for an electric pump to run during the monthly operational test, according to NFPA 25? In Chapter 8, which goes over fire pumps and the standards for that, the testing is found in Chapter 8, Section 3.2.3. Electric pump shall run a minimum of 10 minutes, and the diesel pump shall run a minimum of 30 minutes. Okay? Remember, the NFPA standards are minimums. So that doesn't mean that you can't run it longer if you feel the need to do that. And when you look at a procedure for your company, it could be that it might say 30 minutes for both of those. So it just depends. I know that when you send out maintenance personnel to do these, they like to do the electric pumps a lot better than the diesel pumps because they're standing there for 30 minutes while it runs. There's some things that they should be doing during that time. They're looking for heat, looking for vibrations, and monitoring the RPMs and the pressure to make sure that they maintain those minimums. There are also some questions about sprinkler inspections, testing, and maintenance. Those are also in NFPA 25 in Chapter 5. So there was a request for looking at some sprinkler heads for foam. You can see they have the basic components, but they're a little different. Anyone want to take a shot? Why are these different? You can see that most of them are elongated, and they have some areas in here where things that you don't have in a regular water sprinkler. What's happening in this sprinkler that's different than in a water sprinkler? The foam is being mixed with the water, and what else? You've got three things to make a good working foam. Foam and water. What's the last thing? Air. Okay. So these are designed to mix those three. So the foam and the water are mixed. So now you're introducing air into that. There's also information on sprinklers that was asked about yesterday that can be found in NFPA 13, the standard on installation of sprinkler systems. Specifically, there was a question on how often does NFPA require you to flush your sprinkler system. If the sprinkler system is above ground, there is no requirement. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Again, that's the minimum. Especially if there's a section that's not flowing completely or flowing at all, and you suspect that there may be a blockage or partial blockage, you want to go in and flush that out. You can, on a routine basis, flush them. If you know, for example, that you have very hard water, and you know that you're getting deposits in your system, it's probably a good idea to do that once or twice a year. Okay, again, it's a minimum standard. The only time that they require flushing is for pipes that are underground. Okay, underground pipes have a couple of things. They get dirt, and believe it or not, animals, bugs that crawl in them and cause some blockage. And obviously, being in the ground, they're much more susceptible to getting soil and dirt. Also, there was a question about the regularly scheduled maintenance or preventative maintenance for sprinklers. And the only requirement is if the sprinkler protects a commercial cooking or ventilation system. Okay? Other than that, regular sprinklers in warehouses and other occupancies, there are no requirements for preventive maintenance. So let's take a look at these codes. So the NFPA has three things we talked about yesterday. One, and the main thing that the NFPA is about, how they came about in the late 1800s, 1895, 1896, was to create standards for the new invention of sprinkler systems, so that they were standardized and that they were reliable for the people that were using them. So you all have on your thumb drive, you have the slide. You can go into this slide and click and this will take you to the codes. If you want to look at a code, you can go to the list here. Now they're in order. You can click on these, or if you want to search, you can go up here and click here. So let's say we want to search NFPA 25, and we want to find out how long we have to run an electric fire pump during the operational testing. So then we come down here and click on it. Here's the code. Click on free access. You've got the 2020 edition, brand new, hot off the presses. It's going to open up like